Congressman, when you look at this part of the story, are you happy that deportations are down, or do you dispute looking at it this way?
Yeah, I have to disagree just somewhat. Look, my experience is that the deportation apparatus is working more vigorously and just in a meaner place today than it was at the end of the Barack Obama administration. Look, clearly, there are fewer people. So when you look at deportations, you have interior deportations. That is someone living in the city of Chicago, LA, New York, which is apprehended at their work or at their job and deported back to their country of origin. But also included in deportation, especially under Barack Obama, where a huge percentage of his deportations were people caught at the border, which I call expedited removal. Clearly, there are fewer people attempting to cross that border, and therefore you have fewer deportations of that nature.
So let me, Congressman, let me go back to you on that. Should I understand you to be saying then that you object to the fundamental approach both administrations took, or you actually think the Trump approach is meaner for the reasons you just stated?
Here, I'm going to give you an example of why it's meaner and different and much more vicious. So we have Francisca Lino. Francisca Lino has 6 American citizen children, an American citizen husband. She has reported dutifully for 14 years. She does have an order of removal, of deportation from the United States, but it's been held in abeyance for 14 years. Why? Because prosecutorial discretion under both Bush and Obama didn't see the reason to deport her until the Congress can figure out a way to fix her situation. She has been told that on August 23rd, she must leave the United States of America. And guess what? She might not be counted in the deportation numbers because they're not deporting her in our classical sense. They're told her, bring an airplane ticket back to your country of origin, right? And pay for it yourself and leave. And like her, we find thousands upon thousands of people. Right. So the stories permeate throughout the countries of people who have for a decade reported and have a deportation order, but now they're executing those deportation orders.
Let me bring in Alma on the point you're raising, Congressman. Alma, the congressman pointing out that the numbers give a snapshot, and then there's the human side. There's individuals whose whole lives may be uprooted despite their attempt to cooperate, and they're not even caught, as he explains in the numbers. Your view?
Right, and the mean part about it is also, this is not smart enforcement. Smart enforcement is making this country safe. If the president wants to appeal to his base, what the numbers should say is how many criminals, how many people that are harmful for the United States are being actually removed, physically removed from the United States. These numbers don't tell us that. There may be in absentia orders, meaning the judge could render a decision, but the person is still in the United States, or they could be voluntary departures. These numbers don't quite add up, and also it's just bad enforcement, because enforcement should be for making this country safe, and it's not safe when you're deporting mothers of United States citizens with non-criminal records with lengthy residence in the United States. Why isn't the enforcement part of it dedicated to getting people that should be in this country?
Congressman, let's play some of your recent comments on this.
Sure.
The Dreamers are not criminals. For me, the major criminal that exists in the United States of America is called Donald Trump. He lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue at the White House.
What are you driving at there?
Here's what I'm driving at. 800, it's going to get worse, Ari. 10 attorney generals from across the country have said to the Trump administration, you either rescind, revoke the executive order that has given life, that has given freedom, that has allowed 800,000 immigrants that arrived here as children, commonly known as Dreamer, under the executive order of DACA, September 5th. I think he's going to rescind it before September 5th. 800,000 in the city of Chicago. Those are people, Ari, that registered with the government, went through a background check, paid their taxes, are on the books, and he's going to give them a life of hopelessness and of despair after they've come out of the shadow. Some of them in my city. So that, and it may sound like an exaggeration to some, but I know it's not because I've met them. They're doctors, they're teachers, they're in every sphere of our society. It is wrong. To me, someone who at the White House says to the Attorney General, says to the Vice President and to his son-in-law, leave the room, and then tells the head of the FBI, I want you to stop an investigation into Flynn, that to me is a criminal act of obstruction of justice, not those young, beautiful people who have come out, and we all love them. I see them as my own children.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.